Hey everybody, it's Chris and Tony back for another review for the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet from the Tigersox
Please,
series.
please.
Please,
That's
please.
applause.
Oh yes,
I just assume
applause. But yeah,
you're applauding,
please,
right?
please keep it down, keep it down.
Please, thank you.
And
Oh,
currently,
stop.
currently Tony's team is kicking the crap out of my team. 5 point lead or
Nice
5 run
change.
lead, and
Nice
in
change.
what the eighth
Last I
last we
looked, it
saw.
was the bottom of the eighth. Yeah.
Yeah, so
From the time this airs, it's a 7-day difference.
today's the 21st, but
Sox Tigers score from Sunday the 21st.
uh-huh,
Look it up.
yeah,
It's
and
10-5 at the moment.
in all
Detroit.
likelihood, it probably didn't change much.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But they played a 4-game series, and it looks like it's going to be a 2-2 split. So.
And between the two teams, if this was a 10-5 lead for Detroit, I mean for the Sox, I'd say pay attention, guys, because Detroit has had a hell of a lot better luck rallying from behind this season than the Sox have. But
You got a more explosive offense.
Yeah.
Detroit does, that's for sure.
that's true. So
I'm sorry, I'm kind of cheating here.
no, that's all right.
This
Because-
bottle needs a little more time to open. So.
Tony picked up this bottle. It's Alesmith's. Is there?
That's a dark one.
It's just
so I don't
called
know if it's gonna
weeheavy,
show
so
up.
there's no.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not like the
The Alesmith out of San Diego, California. They're weeheavy.
weeheavy Scottsdale ale.
And I'm a big fan of weeheavies.
Me too, yeah.
I love a really nice smoky weeheavy.
This is one of the high ABV beers that Tony and I can agree upon. Can't usually agree upon barley wines.
So,
Stouts, you know.
A lot of times we agree on stuff.
Yeah, Tony doesn't care for stouts as much as I do, but
That's true.
we heavies are pretty much where we're both like, yeah. So, as you can see, this has a lot of packaging and foil and whatnot. Truth be told, we don't know what kind of opener is under here.
Yeah.
So we may actually even have to pause this video for a second and come back.
No,
Just a standard.
regular
just
lid. We can use our Tazad, pop the top
Yeah,
out.
and Tony's going to show you with his pop the top opener from Taza Designs
Okay, I'll
how
do
easily
it.
this works.
10% ABV, right on the dot. And you have a nice preserved cap. Oh, hello. We're getting some head
Yeah,
already.
well, Rouse did a really nice job of knocking this bottle over on the floor.
He kicked it over a second ago, yeah.
So,
He kicked it to
but
the
Tony
curb.
is showing you that cap is in perfect condition to
It
use
is.
either for a wall mount or a recapping of the bottle, if that was what you wanted to do.
In case you missed
So
it.
if you're a cap collector,
Yep.
this is definitely the opener you want. And even if it doesn't last as long as it should, buy yourself 6 of them. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
it really, if you're a cap collector, I really can't think of any better opener than this. There's no better opener that's going to preserve your caps.
Mine's got a lot of miles on it, too.
You know,
I
Tony
hope that-
keeps bottles. Some
Yes.
people keep caps. If you're a cap collector, then this is definitely the one to have, and have 4 or 5 of them on hand in
And
case.
here's a fun game, since we're actually opening this right now. In future videos, make it a game for yourself. Find it. Like, you know what I mean? Like a week or two from now, like,
hide it or something
there
like
it
that.
is. You know,
Like
I'm not
like
looking
the
at
Playboy bunny on a
Yeah, exactly.
covers or
right.
yeah.
Where's Waldo? Except it's a beer bottle.
Now this beer, the brewers themselves tell you to serve it at between 50 and 55 degrees in goblets. So we have goblets. Now if you go to Beer Advocate's glassware guide, it will tell you to use snifters.
All right. Yep.
I personally think the distinction between snifter, tulip, and goblet is so minimal. What difference does it make? Yeah, I'm sure somebody is going to write me and tell me, oh, no, there's a world of difference between a goblet and a snifter and a tulip. Maybe there is. I personally don't see it, and I think if you've got one of the three and you're supposed to use one of those three, you know, if you're supposed to use a tulip and you've got a goblet, or you're supposed to use a snifter and you've got a tulip, use the closest thing. The other thing about, as I say this many, many times, as long as you got yourself a pint glass, you have the right glassware for beer.
It even said on their link there that you could use a pint glass for a weeheavy. So it was named.
Yeah, it is.
It
It
was
is
mentioned,
among the
so.
list. This
I can
describes
smell that beer from right here.
weeheavy's complex malt profile lends itself very well to a host of roasted or grilled meat and vegetable dishes, robust cheeses.
Yes.
Yeah, telling you
Pairs
what it
well
pairs
with
with. But here we go. Scottish-inspired deep mahogany-colored ale showcases a rich multi-flavor profile of caramel and toffee offset by hints of roast and subtle smoke. The complex malty sweetness includes notes of dark fruit balanced by a subdued hop bitterness. Weeheavy is incredibly nuanced in a class of its own. In terms of balance and sophistication, it ages very well and will keep improving for years to come. That's another thing is Weeheavies, because they are high ABVs, These are good beers. But these, along with barley wines and your imperial IPAs, your imperial stouts, these are the kind of beers you want to age.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have proper aging, like if you don't have a cellar
Right.
or whatever. If you're just
You
storing them
simply
in the
don't
back,
have the room.
in the back corner of your broom closet,
Right.
nice and dark, then these are your. This is the way to go, and it's also a dark bottle too, so that way you know you're going to be safe with sunlight and light getting to it.
My first introduction to the style, the wee heavy style, was Sam Adams. Once upon a time, used to make a 4-pack called their Imperial series, and the wee heavy. I remember this because I drank it a lot. The wee heavy came in a 4-pack that was almost a bluish purple box, and they had 4 different beers in the Imperial series at the time. One of them being their double bock, Imperial White, wee heavy, Imperial Stout, and that's how I fell in love with wee heavies. So this will be the first time I've had an Alesmith wee heavy, and I believe it'll be yours too.
My first experience was actually a SNAFU meeting, Southern Nevada Ale Fermenters Union. For those who are in the know, it's Las Vegas' home brewers club, and a guy there had brought some. Those of you who grew up in barbecue towns like mine, Kansas City, Liquid Smoke, that bottle of Liquid Smoke, it's on everybody's mother's stove. It's honestly what it reminded me of first. I thought if somebody took Liquid Smoke and turned it into a beer, that's what this would be.
That's very true. Liquid Smoke, very much so.
I say the mark of a good wee heavy too is how much smoke you get off of it. Yep. If you don't really taste a lot of smoke, then they've kind of failed as a wee heavy.
And I just got a little bit on my leg. The cat will enjoy it later on. That's a nice head. Very bubbly, frothy. Here you go, sir.
Thank you.
He's like, give me my glass.
We have plenty of carbonation.
A tiny bit left over here, not much. A little bit left.
This is kind of a weird sized bottle too, because it's a pint and
9.4, 1 pint, 9.4 fluid ounces.
Yeah, so
that is an unusual.
Kind of a strange size for an American bottle.
But, hopefully, I poured it okay because I was out of my element, not pouring my normal size.
Tony still pours better than I do, and I've got the Tenaya Creek. Shout out to Tenaya Creek.
Tenaya Creek. We even have your glassware, and I have a Mud Shark Brewing out of Lake Havasu City, Arizona.
Also a great brewery, and you can anticipate us reviewing some beers from them.
Yeah, we do need to do some neighborhood beers.
I just don't know that we've seen a whole lot of bottles available from them.
A couple different, but not a lot of spectrum of variety. So we might only be able to do 1 or 2 videos by them.
I'm definitely getting the malt, that's for sure.
Oh, it's just teeming with malt.
Not smelling the smoke just yet. Getting the fruits, the currants, the raisins, the plum kind of smells you normally get, but
for sure plums.
I'm not getting the smoke, at least not yet.
A little bit of caramel on there.
Yeah, I'm getting and toffee. I'm definitely picking up.
Yep, you read my mind as you usually do. Smells fantastic. Wee heavies, if you're a fan of stouts, I can see you transitioning very easily to wee heavies. They're not worlds apart, obviously, but
we're 8 minutes into it, so let's
consume the product.
Some beer. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Oh my goodness,
that is tasty.
This is so good. Wow.
It's not. It's not as rich as I was expecting.
I'm getting a lot of richness.
Are you? See, I didn't think we.
I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't be richer, but. This is a slow beer. You have to take this one very methodically.
I'm still not getting smoke. Even after.
Not as much as the beer we did last week with the Sierra Nevada Autumn. That had a little more smoke to it. Yeah. This is just
on a wee heavy. I expect.
It's there. It's just
I expect it to smell like your neighbor's yard on Labor Day.
It's sifting over.
I expect that smoke to just hit.
Well, maybe like a rock beer would be. Rosh beer would be. I always mispronounce that. I mean, Rosh beer. But that to me is the epitome of a smoky beer.
True, that is the epitome of a
smoky beer. Wee heavy's kind of like the tier below it.
I still expect. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but I was expecting a little more smoke.
But wouldn't you say the maltiness is more than makes up for the?
Very malty.
Because the malts are really complex with this beer. Very.
I gotta say, layered, okay, I'm gonna say this. I like this beer, but I don't know that it's a good wee heavy. I really don't. I don't
Interesting.
think this is. I think this is kind of falling short in terms of what I expect from a wee heavy. And like with that smoke and
No, like I said, the Sam Adams one that I was
mhm,
just talking about, I would say is better than the Spear
yeah,
because I just thought that was just a groundbreaking wee heavy. It was the first one I had, but the ones I had afterward, including this one, didn't seem to stack up to as the Sam Adams one, which I don't think they even make anymore.
mhm.
Pardon me. Oh goodness, delete that part out. So basically, oh, see
There we go.
this
Yeah, I had to help out.
this guy can
That way we're
outburp
not
pretty much anything or anybody, anything I should say.
anything.
So I think for this review, this might be the first time where you and I are not in full agreement.
Hmm.
Because usually we tend to kind of stick to what the other one says and kind of, maybe not as enthused.
Uh-huh.
But this time I actually am enthused and you're less than enthused.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is still a good beer. Don't get me wrong. This is a good beer. If they offered this in barrels and Tenaya Creek had it, I would definitely check it out on draft and enjoy it. But I don't. To me, this is kind of not proving to be a wee heavy.
Hmm.
It's not what I expect from a wee heavy. I expect more smoke. I expect it to be a little more rich.
Interesting.
Now I am getting that. I'm getting a slight alcohol burn in the afterwards.
I've been getting that the
But
whole
I'd still
time.
say this is a this is I wouldn't give this any more than a medium low mouthfeel.
Yeah,
I'm not really getting much spikiness or that roll around your mouth when you
right.
just go, oh, I still taste that, I still feel it, I still I don't.
I guess if I had to make any criticism at all on it is that it seems to be almost more of an imperial stout
Exactly.
than it does a
That's
wee
what.
heavy.
Yeah, that's
Although
what
I
I'm saying.
really, like I said, they're not worlds apart.
It's a good beer, but it's not holding true to the style. I don't think.
I mean, I guess that's a fair way to say it just because the smokiness, I'm not really getting through and through any smoke. Like I'm
Mhm.
just getting like little hints of it there, a little bit here each sip, but I'm just getting like an overwhelming amount of toffee and malt. I mean, it's just kicking my butt with and the smoke is just too subtle, I guess.
Yeah, if I had
But I want a rock beer if I want that. I'll drink.
if I had one of those small torches and a piece of oak, where the thing that they're doing now, where they char the wood, they get the
Right,
smoke going, they put the snifter on top of it, they let the smoke roll around in the snifter, turn it upside down, and pour the drink into that.
right.
That's kind of what's needed with this, honestly. If I were at a bar that served this beer, I'd tell them that's what you're gonna have to do with this beer.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Alesmith, they've actually they on the bottle here, they were the winners of the Great American Beer Festival of 2008 Small Brewing Company of the Year.
Woohoo.
And here in Vegas, I've noticed over the last probably 6 months, it's just like they're just popping up like weeds, man. I mean, Alesmith beers are
Alesmith,
popping up
Victory, some
on
of
top
the
shelves of the major stores here on the top shelf.
I think possibly the California brewers are starting to realize just what a desert they have over in a beer
Yeah,
desert they have in Las Vegas,
right.
and so it's almost ripe for the opening. Just come in if you're a small California brewer and
True,
say, "Hey,
true.
Vegas market, here I am."
Yeah,
Um,
especially when you come from San Diego because
oh God,
people in this part of the country, I don't know about you all anywhere else, but in Vegas, we basically have the beer playground 4 hours away from us.
uh-huh.
And
That is the only if we have to put up with the fact that there's no that this is a beer desert in this town, we do at least have Southern California right
yeah,
across the way.
oh,
I see
absolutely.
we're closing in on our final minute,
We have 1 minute left.
and
So what do you like?
I'm going to give
I
it a
don't.
3.75. It's a good beer, but it's
Actually, I
not
didn't
true to
think you were going to
style.
go that
So,
high the way you were critiquing it. I
uh-huh.
thought you were going to go closer to 3 myself.
It's still a good beer. It's just not true to style. So,
It reminds me of an imperial
what
stout.
will you
It
probably
really
give it?
does. A little higher. Oh, I don't know. 3.75 sounds like about what I would probably score it. I might give it a 4 just because I'm a fan of wee heavies
Mhm.
and beers that have an element of smoke to them. So
Final half hour or final half minute.
let's make a 45-minute video and see
Uh,
who stays to
Drink
the end.
good beer. Don't break the bank doing it. And until next time, cheers. Thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate you.
Bye. Please leave comments
And subscribe.
and subscribe and tell your friends and leave us nasty remarks or friendly ones.
Right on.
We welcome them all.